Hello, everybody. Barry here. Thank you for bothering to listen. I won't take long. I'm going to talk about the Warrior Teacher Program. What a surprise! We're starting a new Warrior Teacher cohort. We've got to sign up in January, and we've got to start in February. The details will be in the Dubras as usual. Would you like to come along and find out a little bit more? Please do apply on the website, on the contact form. And that doesn't mean to say you're going to do it. It means you've got an interest. And then there'll be a meeting on the 19th by Teams where you can listen to me talk briefly about what's it all about, and also then perhaps ask questions that you may have. So I thought it might be interesting with the advent of this new cohort if I answered a couple of questions that two or three, that I've been asked by various people about what the program entails. So I'm going to take you through a few of those questions for a few minutes so that we can see where we are and what's likely to be occurring. So yeah, everything you need is in the Dubras, right? Other than that, here we go. Let's start with question one, which is the one question that gets asked the most. Will this help me control my emotions and get better at saying what I need to say? The number of ways that I've heard this particular statement made is extraordinary. It's the one that seems to bother us the most, is that you can't seem to articulate correctly what it is you want to say and do so in such a way that it remains persuasive. If you're anything like me, when I first got involved in this nasty little business that we all find ourselves embroiled in, you'd meet with your friends and you were so filled with this kind of zealotry and a vigour that you were like, have it all at once, and you tried to give them everything at once. And sometimes we have to remember that we have been studying or already know so much about this that we are so far down the road that they're not even able to see us because we're past their horizon. So the difficulty can be in how do we learn to communicate in such a way and to do things in such a way that will achieve what the very notion of a warrior teacher is about achieving. Because remember, you don't have to be a teacher to be one, right? You come along, we're going to give you some teaching skills. It's not, you're not doing a degree in teaching. I don't think it's going to be that good. It's not. But what you're going to get is some teaching skills. That's certainly part of it. And an understanding of how we got here and what narrative I tell and what narratives I use in order to be able to influence people and in order to be able to help people understand why I'm so worried and why they should be too. That's what it's about, okay? So yes, the answer to the question is yes, this will help you with that, most definitely. And I suppose the first thing I would say is, in order for you to understand where the Warrior Teacher Program comes from and what your raison d'etre as a warrior teacher will be, is that it is not your job to make them know that you are right. It is not your job to make them know that you are right. It is your job to make them doubt that they are. One single chink in the armour. Because as all my warrior teachers have already told me, even when they've said they find it hard to articulate it correctly, they know as well as you do that once you've seen this, you can't unsee it. You're not there to tell them you're right. You're there to make them feel that they might be. That's the key to being a good warrior teacher. And we use teaching skills and narrative to do that. We tell stories. I've got mine. Mine's honed to perfection. Yours might not be. Right? It might not be because you don't yet know what it is. We don't know where it starts. You don't know what the middle is. You don't know what the end looks like. And the Warrior Teacher Program is about learning how to put together that narrative and tell a story and do so in a post-emotional way that will engage people and will prevent you from having some kind of moment. Right? That's what it's about. Okay? And we'll take in all sorts of things when we do that. History, psychology, sociology, archaeology, geography. Right? So there's lots going on. And there'll be lots of things for you to consider, because that's what I do every month. I'll give you some stuff to consider. And then you'll discuss it within your WhatsApp group, and you'll use it and have conversations in the Teams meeting once a month with other people like you who have joined the program and have started with you. Okay? So that they'll be on the same path as you are, so you better share notes. So yeah, the answer to that first question, which is by far, I know, a long way, the one that gets asked the most, is yes, it will help you with that. Let's go to the second question. You can tell the age group of the people I'm working with mostly. I wish I could get some younger people, but as yet, no. But here we go. I'm worried about the tech. I'm not a techie. I've even said to some of my warrior teachers, and I've ribbed them about it before, so I hope they'll forgive me for ribbing them about it on this video. We'll get you in the WhatsApp group, and their response was, "What's WhatsApp?" So it's fairly obvious that generally the people I'm working with are older. various ages from about 35 up. So it's, we're an interesting bunch. Listen, don't worry about the tech. If that means you and I have to spend half an hour online together on, putting it all together and getting you to be able to do it, then I'll do it with you. Don't worry, all right? Don't let that stop you. It's not something that should stop you, okay? So we'll be able to sort out the tech, whatever it is. We only use Teams and WhatsApp. It's really simple. Everything else comes in readable PDFs and pictures. And, when you're watching movies, they're fairly straightforward to find. Most of them are on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever it may be. So don't worry, okay? When it comes to the tech, it's not a problem. Which leads us nicely into the next question, which I think is worth taking up because this came up once or twice. Can I join but not have a camera and just listen? The answer to that question is no. Right? And there's a number of reasons. And I'm sorry it's no, but it is. First off, the most important reason is you are an important part of this. If you come and join, there are people who are going to want to hear your story. What you find difficult, what you find easy, what you're doing, how you're doing it, because you will have things that people will have never considered. And likewise, you will receive from people things that you have never considered. That's the most important thing. So if you want to do this, you've got to turn up and you're going to have a camera and you're going to have a microphone because I am going to call on you and you are going to have to speak. Okay? But these are people like you. They're great people. They're not going to, laugh. Well, they will laugh at you. We all laugh at each other all the time because some of us are so ridiculous. So yes, you've got to have that bit of a sense of, not taking yourself too seriously because we're very serious about what we do, but not necessarily how we do it. But on the other hand, you couldn't do it by sitting there with no camera and just no, it's not happening. And secondly, how can I control the quality if we did that? Who would we end up with? You don't know what would happen. So I'm sorry, the answer is no. But that also leads into another question, was can you record it and send it to me? No, the answer to that is no as well, I'm afraid. We're not in that position to do so yet. I've looked at this. It's not as easy as it seems. And half the benefit of being on this is so I can challenge you. If we're learning and you're learning properly, you're outside your comfort zone. That's not always comfortable for obvious reasons. Yep. But that's what it is. People might say things and you go, oh my God, I don't like that, or I haven't considered that. So otherwise, what's the point? If you just want to sit in a room with people telling you stuff that makes you feel good, you're definitely not going to be a warrior teacher. You're going to want to come and be challenged. People like you already being challenged by this. So yeah, no, not going to record it and send it out either. Okay? That was the second question. Third question. I'm worried I won't be able to understand it. Okay. If I was doing this and there wasn't some of it that you didn't understand, I'd be really disappointed in myself as a teacher. I don't want to just tell you what you know already. I want to try and introduce you to some ideas and some concepts that you may never have heard of or never considered before. But be assured that in the community of practice that is the Warrior Teacher Program, you will be with people who, if they don't get it, will say so. Okay? And you will be with people who do get it, will share what they get and how they understand it, so that between us we can always find a way, which is called differentiation in teaching. We can always find a way of ensuring that we can explain it in such a way that you'll get it. That's why I keep the groups small. That's why I keep the groups small, because we want that ability to be talking individually and together, to do so without the need to worry about there being too many people. Okay? So, and besides which, don't do that to yourself. All right? Don't do it to yourself. We're capable of the most extraordinary things, and people like you have already been taking on board theories they never considered before and ideas they've never considered. So don't do it to yourself. Yes, you can do this. Okay, you can do this. It's something that's achievable by all. Okay, and then the final question, which will be the last one I take you through today, is the course solely about gender identity? This comes up occasionally because I think people have got wind from other warrior teachers that it's not. Well, it isn't. Truth of the matter is you could do the whole course and never mention it. But what it is about being persuasive and understanding how people get caught up in fanatical ideas. And it could be applied to just about anything. At the same time, of course, gender identity comes up every month because we have the Q A at the end. And not only that, people are saying, listen, I did this month and I spoke to this person. And we're sharing stories of success and collaboration, which is the good bit. That's the bit that's fun. Yeah, right, okay. So, yes, you could, but it's not really about that. It's about that, but it's about understanding the phenomena rather than what it is. So that's how I would describe that for you. It's understanding the phenomena rather than what it is. But it's fun, and you'll get to, you'll get lots of information and things that you'll be able to leave lying around for folk that folk will want to know about. That leads into understanding this. And I heard from one of the warrior teachers that we had a young person who desisted. as a result of that. God, that was a proud moment for me. Anyway, that's it. That's the four main questions. So I thought I'd just ask those. I'll put all the information you need downstairs. But if you think that that you want to be part of a community of practice, and come and join with folk that are like you, and first and foremost have some fun with it, but also learn to look at it in some different ways that will mean that you can become much more effective at having conversations and trying to help people understand exactly what's going on. Because that's the way forward now. We're the French resistance, folks. Now it's going to be done on a 101 or, 2/1 at coffee at the local bakery house, or perhaps at the pub on a Friday night when you just drop a few little gems in and you start the process of getting people to think. Because most of the problem that we've got with this is because people are not thinking. They're not thinking, and that's what we've got to make them do. So you don't need to be a teacher to do this. You just want to have to make a difference. And if you're the sort of person that makes a difference, come and join others like you who already are. Okay? So all the details in the doobries. Come be a warrior teacher. I'm going to go play a game. You have a great day. I look forward to seeing some of you on the 19th. Bye-bye, folks.